Hello, adventurer. It's good to see you. You have made it to the morning grind.
Welcome, welcome.
It's the live stream at the beginning of the Geekverse, where we talk about all types of topics in geekdom, gaming, and fantasy, with an emphasis on being constructive and creating the things that we want to exist in the world.
It's all on the grind, Sizemore. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
That's exactly right. There are a lot of adventures to be had today. Dungeons to explore and monsters to slay, and who knows what a random encounter might send our way. That's why we have to prepare, so settle in now for the morning grind with your favorite beverage in hand.
Tea? Or maybe something a little stronger. I've got a few bottles of the old Wynyard left.
Whatever you want. Pull up a chair.
Dude.
If you're feeling fancy, how about a cappuccino? Or a frappuccino? Or how about an espresso?
Just tea, thank you.
Sounds good to me, Gandalf. Whatever you want. I'm just glad you're here.
Everyone is welcome. You can just watch if you want. You don't have to worship anything you don't want to worship.
Thank you, Mike. But be forewarned.
Sometimes we get really strange characters around here.
Wait, what's that you say? Why can't you come and be a part of the stream?
My wife would disown me.
Oh no, I bet she'll be fine with it. Come on in.
Am I scared for my safety? No.
What are we supposed to do?
Everybody do the secret handshake.
Secret cultist handshake.
Oh, now do wizards who love each other.
This, my friend, is a science.
I still don't have gills, but it's fine.
It's all on the grind, son. Can't be too fine, can't be too coarse.
Dude, this would be a sick place to bring the band.
Indeed it would be, Dave. It really would. I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Oh, look, here's someone new.
Is this the cultist meetup?
Yes it is.
Come to hang out? Please accept me. I have nothing else.
Okay, we accept you. Everyone's welcome here.
Brought some snacks.
Well, that makes things even better.
You want some coffee? I don't drink coffee. You sure? It's cultist coffee. What makes it cultist coffee? I'm a cultist and I'm drinking it. Oh. Then I'll have some.
What exactly is going on here?
I'm seeing more people coming in. Welcome, welcome. It's so great to have you. Oh, and look, here comes another stranger.
Can we help you?
Yes, fellow cultists. I could really use some food.
Oh yeah? Welcome. We have donuts.
Oh, it's me. I'm glad I'm here. I'm sure you have a few questions for me, though.
What's your name? Who do you work for? What god do you worship?
Great questions, Rob.
I'm Steve King, and I worship Nyarlathotep.
No, not really. I'm just Heath, and I won't be worshiping anything this morning. But I will be your host. Welcome to the office. We're going to have a great time. I've got my coffee ready, because now it's time for the morning grind.
If you could become a fish, that would be amazing. Then I could command you with my mental fish powers.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the office. Welcome to the morning grind. I'm your host, Heath. Oh, let me move my microphone up. Probably can still hear me, but now it's in position. Welcome to the morning grind. I think we should cover some news topics today. I was looking through the news in the grind section of the Discord server. I finally got to be able to go through the Discord server and yesterday for a little while and answer messages and respond to things. So I was over there and it's like, oh, there were some of the things we already covered, but some of the things, there are some Kickstarters, backer kits. Larry Elmore is on Kickstarter, Shadowdark. In fact, I need to make sure that I've got the Larry Elmore Kickstarter up over here. Yes, okay, so I got it. So, and some other things going on, as well as Stephen King posted some comments on AI. And so I want to compare and contrast the way that some of the writers are dealing with AI as compared to how some of the visual artists are dealing with AI. But then on the other hand, in the area of visual art and AI, we've got an amazing new AI video, AI generated video that has been released, or AI, we'll say AI assisted video. You know, one of these AI assisted videos that's absolutely incredible, and I guess shows us actually what now can be done with that. People were talking about, can you do Pixar quality animation with AI video, and you couldn't a month ago, but you can now. So last night we had a fantastic conversation. We talked with Ray Tessie. Let me see here. I'll put this up right over here. We talked with Ray Tessie. He is the owner of Neutral Zone Studios, which is a replica of the 1960s Starship Enterprise set. And that's the one that was built by Vic Mignogna in order to shoot Star Trek Continues. And Ray then, I guess, purchased the set from Vic. And then Ray has been owned and operated it ever since. And he allows people to come out and do fan films and things like that. So, and also just gives tours of the place on monthly fan visits. So that's it right there. It is over on the new Table Talk channel. We post a link to that. If you are interested, the link is over there on that channel now. I've been working very hard to increase branding for the different things that we are trying to do, and I've got tons of things. I'm doing too much. I completely understand that I have too many different projects going, and I have been trying to do too many things. But hopefully with additional branding, and I would really like to be able to do less things. I would like to find some things that are very efficient and very well done, and get a lot of traction, and then I can stop doing some of the other things. But in order to make that happen, I think the branding is a very important thing, because that will allow us to know which things are actually, which things people actually like and which things people don't like so much. And then I can just focus on the things that people like and not so much on the things that people don't like so much. But you got to know. So this, by the way, over here on this channel, Doug has been going viral, because one of the things that I experimented with over here on the Table Talk channel is also, of course, I was making clips. So if you want discussions on like Doug's discussion specifically on the Clone Wars or how Ahsoka should have started, this is a really good video right here. That was a clip from Doug and my discussion with Doug on Ahsoka last Tuesday. Doug has a much better discussion about how Ahsoka should have started. And I was thinking about that a lot today, because this morning I did try to watch Ahsoka episode 3, only because Doug texted me and said that it was good, that they started to turn around things in episode 3. I'm not quite so sure, but as a result, I mean, I don't really think so actually. But as a result, I was thinking more about what Doug was saying, how Ahsoka should have actually started, and how you could have made it good, starting off on the right foot. And I was thinking about that a lot today as I was watching episode 3 this morning. I told Doug that if it was actually good, when Doug was like, all right, I think we got a good episode here. I mean, we don't, on Table Talk, I think we're ultimately going to need a mix of timely topics and things that are going on right now, and then also things that people will, want to see and endure and are kind of evergreen, like the interview with Ray, like our discussions. I'm trying to organize a panel on what is story coming up. Those things are more enduring topics. But I did tell, we were quite critical of Ahsoka last Tuesday night. Doug and I were. But I was like, well, now if they're able to turn things around, maybe they should get off to a slow start. And you think so, because Doug is such a fan of Ahsoka, the character. I said that if we need to get back on and we need to talk, like have an addendum or appendix, or just do a short conversation about season 3 or episode 3, we can do that. So that's why I was wanting to watch it myself. So I don't know if we'll do that or not, but we might. That's really good. But anyway, I was saying that he's going viral because I was also experimenting with some of these clips over here of Doug. I was like, and making the shorts. And so like terrible dialogue in Ahsoka, that went to 2,200 views. There were only like 63 subscribers over here on this channel. More terrible dialogue and writing, 2,001 views. So there were a couple of different, I thought there was another one right here. Oh yeah, we don't care about the Ahsoka costume, 2,400 views. So something about those were funny. They looked aggressive. I mean, Doug seemed really aggressive and animated during those. So I don't know. I may experiment with some more shorts over there on that channel and maybe on some other channels as well. Let's see what's going on over here. Let's see. Let's go ahead and breathe and sip before I forget. Then we'll take a look at the comments here. So everybody got your favorite beverage this morning? I do. Let's go ahead and 2 deep breaths, complete inhales, complete exhales, and then take a sip of your favorite beverage. So here we go. And sip. There we go. James says, this week in violence. I'm kidding. These topics are great, and the contention only adds to the interest. You know how to pick them. Well, I see. Thank you. I'm trying to do more topics like this as well on the channel for the live stream morning show. Yes. Let's see. Sable says, for some reason, the posted videos for Table Talk are showing up as private to me. Well, what I was doing is I was turning them private on this channel, because this channel over here, the new Table Talk channel, is their ultimate home. So at the moment, I have been simultaneously streaming Table Talk both to this channel and the Table Talk channel. So I've been able to do both, but then I don't want them up ultimately in both places. So this morning I did turn the Table Talk with Ray private over here on the Heath's Geekverse channel, but it's not private over here on the Table Talk channel. That way, this is its main home. And so it is right over there. You'll find 3 live streams over here. Of course, this says live streams, but I was re-uploading some of the other videos as well over here. So if you go over here, let's see, playlists or podcasts, either one. Here's Table Talk, Deep Conversations in the Geekverse. If you say view full playlist, all of the videos, all of the podcasts or live streams, or whatever you call them, I just call them the show, are up over here. So if you go over there, Lou's been uploaded, Mark's been uploaded, Jeff, Adjut George, Garrett Kopczynski, didn't we decide that was? On the Nordic Vampire LARP, and then we've been continuing with live streams. Oh, the Barbie movie has been uploaded over there, as well as in the live streams with Star Trek 5, Ahsoka, and then Rey. So then as we go here, as we start to accumulate some more views and more subscriptions over here on the Tabletop Geekverse, I'm going to start releasing some of the other live streams as premieres over there on that channel. So if you're looking for that, it is over there. Good morning, Lynn. Good morning, Zero the Blade. And Robert, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Andrew. Oh, Andrew, I saw that you asked, like, it came up. There's a little bit of a delay between the comments and ending the stream. You asked about cartoon reviews. I have been going through and trying to go through my entire catalog of over 1,000 YouTube videos. And I did find where I was doing some reviews of He-Man episodes and also some of the unboxings of He-Man action figures. Actually, I think that's something that we could bring back on the Morning Grind and show on the Morning Grind. Because I don't think that, I was trying to put out the action figure material in lead up to releasing action figures, but that hasn't gone very quickly or very well. I got to come up with a different strategy for that. So I think that potentially, so there isn't, I also don't think there's enough material to start up to maintain a whole channel on that as far as tight branding goes. But I think that on the Morning Grind, we could return to, I'm sure a lot of people have not seen the reviews of the He-Man cartoon episodes. We were trying to come up with a top 10 and then also some unboxings of some of the like He-Man Classics line and things like that. So we might actually replay some of those during the Morning Grind. I'm thinking that's what might happen to them. Yes, please do get in touch with Ray. Yeah. Robert says, Larry Elmore is a very kind man. I interviewed him at Icon in 2007 for the school paper, and he also did the original design for Morticia for Children of the Grave. It will be the cover of a graphic novel. Very cool. Good morning, TSL Frontman. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to simultaneously broadcast both. If you're, it would help to get views up over there on that channel, on the Table Talk channel, because I think that once new people start finding Table Talk, it's better for it to be on its own channel. So I'm expecting in the medium term to long term for that to be a better deal. And also that's why I'm doing the Dinner and a Board Game channel as well, going and separating that out for Dinner and a Board Game. But for the time being, I'm simultaneously streaming them on both, but I'll turn it off over here as people start to migrate over. So that's a little bit of a hurdle short term. So there's some obstacles and some problems short term, but I think that long term, especially long term, medium term to long term, having different brands for channels is going to be better. But if you watch them wherever you want to watch them, although I do put out the link to the new side to the new channels in order to maybe try to get some watch minutes and things like that, so that those can end up being monetized and, you know, maybe become self-sustaining. Maybe that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Okay, so what else do we say about that? I got to get up the Dinner and a Board Game thumbnail this afternoon. Okay, so we've done sips, we've done general intro here, and we've done welcomes and comments. So let's go over here to see what people were talking about. So we'll just kind of do a news wrap-up kind of thing today. So this right here. First of all, so what is going on with Shadowdark? Have people been following this? I mean, obviously a lot of people have. 1,191 backers have been coming in. I didn't know about this. Thank you. I forgot to write down who put all of this in the Discord server under the news, who put specific things. But we've got Unnatural Selection, a supplement for use with Shadowdark. Is this an official Shadowdark thing designed for use with Shadowdark? Because I don't think that I've gotten, I mean, I know that I haven't gotten the Shadowdark Kickstarter in yet. We would definitely take a look at it when I get those. So is this something that is official? We're going to find out. But obviously, I mean, for not having been fulfilled yet, start a backer train. Back the project to start a backer train. What is a backer train? I haven't heard of this. This is on BackerKit. I'll put the link in here. So this is to Shadowdark Unnatural Selection. Sable says Shadowdark has blown up the OSR. There are so many people who've jumped on to make adventures and classes and adventures and all sorts of add-ons. So actually, now that's what I was wondering, because I was like, wait a minute. So they're still working to get out the main core stuff, but is this something that somebody else has created then? It says Unnatural Selection is a new digital and physical supplement to the Shadowdark RPG. It introduces over 120 pages of new classes, ancestries, weapons, spells, untamed beasts, underworld oddities, magic items, adventures, and other enhancements while maintaining and expanding the core of the old school Renaissance. There's also an easy way to entice 5e players to jump ship into the world of the Shadowdark RPG. They will discover familiar classes and ancestries, providing a common foundation for them to reinvent their character classes. See, I noticed that it's done by Dungeon Damsel, the Dungeon Damsel. So this is not, I mean, so this is a third-party Shadowdark, supplement with a lifelong love of drawing that began in her childhood. Bunny seized the opportunity in 2017 to transform her artistic talent into a career, rapidly acquiring a multitude of commissions and showcasing her ability to adeptly capture various artistic styles. She yearned for a project that would blend her passion with her creative aspirations. It was with this burning desire that gave birth to Unnatural Selection, an endeavor crafted to fulfill her deepest imaginative yearnings that bring her artistic passion to life. So that looks like, okay, so that does seem like that is the case here then. So, yeah, okay, so huge. The download content is out, but not the books for Shadowdark. Okay, so we can get the final versions of the PDFs. But yeah, I haven't gotten a book here. I said adventure story. I don't pause. Let's see. BGD says Shadowdark's surprising success this year is going to open up the door for a lot of independent for use with supplements striking while the iron is hot. I gotcha. Yeah, so that is what this is. Because at first when I saw this in the news for the grind section of the Discord server, I was like, whoa, they're already putting out new stuff, but this is a third party, so that makes sense. So especially if the PDFs and all the digital material is already in its final form for Shadowdark, people start making stuff for it. TSL Frontman says it's a very complete feeling OSR system. It doesn't feel gimmicky, and it's both simple and vastly adaptable. We went over Shadowdark quite a bit on the morning grind. Good morning, Ghostly Karma. Okay, well, cool. I'm glad that so other people are having success with this as well. The cool kids talk unnatural selection, a Shadowdark supplement. Okay. Well, cool. So that's going on. So that's also blowing up. Lots of people coming in for that. So I'm glad she is having so much success there. So this is what Larry Elmore has going on here. Larry Elmore, the complete Elmore Volume 3 hardcover book. Also going very well. 924 backers, $177,000. So it says so this is a Larry Elmore Kickstarter. So here we go. It's been over 10 years since my very successful 2012 Kickstarter campaign for the complete Elmore, a hardback collection of many of the highlights of my long career as a fantasy artist. But I didn't stop working in 2012, and the past decade has been very fruitful. I think it's time for an update. It's therefore my pleasure to announce the third and final volume of my career retrospectives, Complete Elmore 3, Highlights of a Path Well Traveled. I've got several Elmore prints up around my house. Over here, I'll go grab it. In fact, I got a box in front of this. And because I got board game boxes all over the house, not just office. I would say I got board game boxes all over the office. But actually, that's not true. I got board game stuff all over the house. I do have, I've got this hanging up here in the office. Ordinarily, I can see it when board game boxes aren't just stacked up all top of things. Let me go to solo mode. And then I've got a couple of others throughout the house as well. But this is one of the ones here, or actually, I think this is the only one that I have up here in the office. But I think I've got 4 throughout the house. Really like what he's done. So I have not been in on the. I've been buying. I bought the prints for the house. I bought those actually when I was still in the apartment. An apartment to help decorate the house and give it a more, or the apartment, give it a more fantasy feel. But they've come over here to the house. Over 300 pieces, included in this volume. I'm pretty sure in the bedroom I also have some the pen and ink. I've got the colored ones, but I also have some ink ones. Let me put the link to this in the comments section over here. So this is the Larry Elmore Kickstarter. If you're looking for it yourself. Since this will be my last Kickstarter campaign, this will also be your last chance to pick up some other books that have always been Kickstarter exclusives. The Complete Elmore Volume 2, Black and White. Oh, Volume 2 is black and white. That is such an important part of fantasy and the Geekverse. I've seen him at Gen Con. So that is going on. Definitely check that out. It's got 24 days to go. So the unnatural selection has 20 days left. So 24 days left over here. And then also, we did cover this one already in a bit more detail, but don't forget that Moria is also going on. The One Ring, or the Free League has, okay, this one's blowing up. 8,968 backers, $758,000. The One Ring Moria is still going on. I haven't backed it yet, but I need to. I forget who brought this one up right here. So Monty Cook is also blowing up over here on BackerKit. So it also seems pretty common to go directly to BackerKit here, which makes sense. I knew that, with the Kickstarter experience, the so you joined 19 on the backer train back in, is that like, I guess I didn't understand what a backer train was, but I guess that's trying to get backers in a backer so much and every so many minutes or something like that. I've never seen that before. But by the time you've created all this back end for pledge managers, you might as well also make the front end. And so that's what BackerKit's been doing. That's what BackerKit's done. That's what GameFound has done. Makes so much sense. So it seems like have definitely branched out from Kickstarter, although Kickstarter itself is, of course, a huge mainstay. So what is this going on by Monty Cook Games? Let me put a link to this. Oh, no, the signed edition is already sold out, James has said, of Larry Elmore's. Let's see. So this is the Magnus Archives role-playing game. I don't know what this is, but obviously very popular. So let's see what it is. The Magnus Archives is an award-winning horror fiction anthology podcast examining what lurks in the archives of the Magnus Institute, an organization dedicated to researching the esoteric and the weird. It follows the actions of head archivist Jonathan Sims as he attempts to bring a seemingly neglected collection of supernatural statements up to date, converting them to audio and supplementing them with follow-up work from his small but dedicated team. Individually, these statements are unsettling. Together, they begin to form a picture of what is truly horrifying, because as Jonathan and his team look into the depths of the archives, something starts to look back. And now, finally, you can enter the archives yourself as a player or as a GM, investigating the supernatural horrors found in the podcast, or those you create on your own. Work alongside Jonathan and Martin, Bazara, Daisy, and the rest of the staff. Encounter the not them, the anglerfish, and the man upon the stairs. Learn the truth of the books of the Jürgen Leitner, the coffin that is also a pit, and the People's Church of the Divine Host. I had never heard of the Magnus Archives. Get this at the entity backer level. Limited edition deluxe print, standard edition print and PDF, GM's campaign journal print and in PDF, player's guide. We continue to live in this golden age of tabletop role-playing. XP deck, stretch goals. There's some spoilers on here. The game. Has anybody been following this? Is anybody a fan? Know what's going on with the Magnus Archives? Anything we need to specifically look at? The guide, character portfolios. These character portfolios, which are typically around 24 pages. Whoa. Now, I like character portfolios. That's a pretty hefty portfolio, though. A game with such rich background evokes characters equally vibrant and deep. These character portfolios, which are typically around 24 pages, do the job of a character sheet, but also give you the room for notes, sketches, and details. You can keep a campaign journal, make maps and location notes, jot down details about people and creatures you encounter, or flesh out your character's backstory and relationships. Exclusive dice set, pledge levels, add-ons. All right. Oh, James says BackerKit is always a very smooth experience too. Better back end usually means a better front end too. Well, just the perspective, the idea of having to make backers jump through two different things, make a pledge and then 2 months later or 3 months later come back and manage your pledge. It's terrible, terrible. Kickstarter needs a much better back end. So this has been taken by other people. Good morning, PH. Okay, so that's what's going on with the Magnus Archives. Thank you to everybody who's been putting stuff in the news for the grind. I have not been keeping up like I should have, but this is Ravenkeep Discord, and one of the things I've still got to do is clean up. Since I've been cleaning up all of the YouTube videos and the channels and trying to do more branding, I'm going to clean up the Discord server as well. Probably need to remove some of the channels that aren't being used. tighten things down over there. But that's the Ravenkeep Discord where you can see things for the morning grind and also news for the grind. So if you see stuff that's going on that we should cover, please put it in the news for the grind. And we can look at them daily, or sometimes we might need to do like a news catch up kind of thing. There are two. Are there two topics? There are two major topics that eventually what I want to do, and hopefully in the short term, but I got to spend a little bit of time thinking about it, is two extended series that I want to do here on the morning grind. I want to talk about AI for creativity in depth. And we're about to take a look at a video here that was recently created, and then Stephen King's perspective on AI and writing. I want to do a series, probably it'll take 2 or 3 days, because I really want to take a deep dive into AI and its ramifications on the creative sphere and what I think about it. Because it seems to be in general around here, we've been more accepting of AI as a tool, whether that's generative AI as a tool, whether that's a large language model, to be more specific, a large language model, or a diffusion model. We've been more accepting of generative AI over here as a tool to facilitate human creativity than it appears, at least is the case in some places. Although, I mean, creativity is just exploding and these tools are getting integrated in so many things. I want to take a deeper dive into the ramifications for AI. And then also, I do want to talk about, an extended dive into what could be a business model for an independent kind of studio for for production of independent films, web shows, things like that. Because I had put all of that out. It's a big deal, and it may be impossible. Paul Chato was saying that it's impossible, and it may very well be. But I had laid all of that out and what would need to happen in order to make something like that work. And so I want to do an extended look on that as well. Yes. So he does talk about that, which I have actually not read. Maybe that's something that we should look at on Table Talk one night. Anyway, I want to do extended looks into both of those subjects here on the grind, but I got to make notes on that because we talked about. I think that YouTube could, like, if YouTube took that type of wanted to, and they took that kind of structure to what kind of a business plan would be to facilitate independent creation. Paul Chato thought that it would require something as large as YouTube to actually back it and get behind it. And he has different ways. He thinks that it has to be done in a very polished way that can go out to a lot of people. I kind of disagree with that, but he could be right. I mean, he could end up being right. But some people have said, well, gee, if it's not going to be YouTube, could it be Rumble? And I don't know enough about Rumble. But they may not be big enough and they may not have the cash. Okay, so, but at any rate, let's take a look at what's going on over here with some stuff. I was really impressed with this AI stuff. Right over here. Has anybody seen this? And I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I'm going to put this. This is Glitch, a short animation by Jeff Synthesized. So this is the Jeff Synthesized channel. I only found out about this because I was following. Is it Theoretically Media? Let me check on that. Or let me put the link down here. This is the Glitch AI video right there. I'm not gonna watch the whole thing, but also let's see. Also, what was that? Theoretically, last night I needed to take a break from working. Yeah. Theoretically Media, and so I stopped and I was watching a few videos from Theoretically Media. That's another YouTube channel, Theoretically Media, and I was catching up on a couple things. For instance, I didn't know that Midjourney now has in-painting. I was waiting for that, but Midjourney now has in-painting. I posted a link to the Theoretically Media video on in-painting in the Ravenkeep Discord under the AI for games. So that apparently came out a couple of weeks ago or something like that. And for some reason, I didn't even notice. So there is in-painting in Midjourney now, finally. So, I mean, that's going to be really great. But then also, like I said, here, people were saying you can't do Pixar-style animation with AI video. Well, this looks pretty good. I'm going to
Residents are feeling quite charged up as unexplained glitches and power outages run rampant, turning daily life into a comically electrifying experience. Mrs. Ruth Bolt, a 67-year-old resident of the town, was reported saying, "I tried to toast my bread this morning, but instead it flew out of the toaster and stuck to the ceiling. I guess I'm having an upside-down sandwich today." What's causing these electric escapades? Theories range from a squirrel rave party at the local power plant to underground disco-loving mole people.
I want to see the people.
Well, they told me that there was nothing wrong with my Wi-Fi and that I had to speak to you.
Did you try turning it off and on again?
5 times. Look, the last guy told me he was transferring me to a Wi-Fi wizard, so where's the magic?
No ticket number, no wizardry.
I didn't get a ticket number because your system hung up on me. Dad! Give me a sec, bud.
I'm elevating your case now, sir. Dad! Please hold for some elevator music and potential spiritual experience.
It's almost dinner o'clock already. I've got nowhere. Hello? Hello? Oh, come on.
Dad, seriously.
So, I mean, I think that's pretty good. I'm going to let you. I put the link right. Yeah. So the glitch ad video, I put that down there. I mean, I think that's looking pretty good. Now, I think, as I understand, this was also done by somebody who has, so this is a proof of concept animation for research and experimental purposes. And I understand, so theoretically, media was saying this was generated by imagery that was rolled up in Mid-Journey, for this particular style and things like that. It's got a lot of character consistency. It's got a lot of the temporal consistency from frame to frame. Its animation is smooth. It doesn't have the flicker effect over here. I mean, so this is, once again, something that was impossible or even a month ago. It seems like even a month ago. When was this released? This premiered August 30th. Oh, so this premiered 2 days ago. So this is 2 days ago. I mean, I think that's pretty incredible that we are now to this point. But nonetheless, it's a one-person deal. I understand if theoretically media is correct, this person has experience in animation and cinematography and all of that, which is the way that a lot of these tools work, that if you are already knowledgeable in the artistic side of this, then you're very well poised to take advantage of these tools and to create new stuff. And so that seems to be the situation here. But I also understand it was a one-person operation. This is a one-person operation. I don't know how long it took. So I want to dig into this actually in more detail and find out more about this film and the process and things like that. Maybe it's on here. Let's see if he has videos about like the process. It's not a big channel or anything like that. New live action AI film. So it looks like he's been doing like technical. I started making a Pixar movie for just $195. That's glitch here. So it seems like he's been doing like tech samples of AI and to figure out what's going on over here, or what do you call it? Tech demos, I guess. So that's pretty cool, I think. That's pretty cool. That's taking it to a new level. Okay, as animation, that's not great, Sable says, but as a totally AI-generated film, it's insane. Yeah, it isn't. I mean, that's my point. I mean, can it be done better? I mean, if you're talking about the animation, okay, can the animation be done better? Well, probably. But as a one-person AI-generated film, I mean, that's where we are. And we were nowhere near that. I mean, I've been following that reasonably closely because I wanted to know where all of the different AI technology is. So I've been following that reasonably closely. And that one is like, oh, that's taking it to a new level. Yeah, it's really good. So we keep making huge jumps. So that's what's going on in the video world. But let's go over here to what Stephen King is saying over here. So this is by Stephen King, something that was over here in the Atlantic. So let's see what he was doing. Stephen King, my books were used to train AI. One prominent author responds to the revelation that his writing is being used to coach artificial intelligence, by Stephen King. So it says self-driving cars, saucer-shaped vacuum cleaners that skitter hither and yon, only occasionally getting stuck in corners, phones that tell you where you are and how to get to the next place. We live with all of these things, and in some cases, the smartphone is the best example. Can't live without them, or so we tell ourselves. But can a machine that reads learn to write? As I have said in one of my few forays into nonfiction on writing, that you can't learn to write unless you're a reader and unless you read a lot. Let me say that again. I have said in one of my few forays into nonfiction that you can't learn to write unless you're a reader and unless you read a lot. AI programmers have apparently taken this advice to heart because the capacity of a computer memory is so large, everything I ever wrote could fit on one thumb drive. In fact, that never ceases to blow my mind. A fact that never ceases to blow my mind. These programmers can dump thousands of books into state-of-the-art digital blenders, including mine, it seems. The real question is whether you get a sum that's greater than the parts when you pour back out. So far, the answer is no, and I agree with that so far. I also took a deep dive into that was GPT-4, trying to figure out what exactly GPT can do as far as writing. I would say there is asymmetry right now between the visual arts and the text or prose arts. Well, it could be poetry too, but textual written arts and the AI generated graphical arts, because we just saw where we are with AI generated films and animation, which is pretty good. It seemed like we are not that far there with the writing. I spent a lot of time trying to figure out if I could get AI to write a decent movie script, and the answer was no. As people always say, not yet, and I am also a proponent of saying not yet, but it does seem to be that we need a difference of kind and not just a difference of degree in getting something quality writing. There's some writing tasks that the large language models can do, but on the other hand, if you're looking for it to write a Stephen King novel for you, it's really not. But so far, the answer is no. AI poems in the style of William Blake or William Carlos Williams, I've seen both, are a lot like movie money. Good at first glance, not so good upon close inspection. I wrote a scene in a forthcoming book that may illustrate this point. A character creeps up upon another character and shoots him in the back of the head with a small revolver. When the shooter rolls the dead man over, he sees a small bulge in the man's forehead. The bullet didn't quite come out, you see. When I sat down that day, I knew the murder was going to happen, and I knew it was going to be a murder by gun. I did not know about the bulge, which became an image that haunts the shooter going forward. That was a genuine creative moment, one that came from being in the story and seeing what the murderer was seeing. It was a complete surprise. Could a machine create that bulge? I would argue not, but I must reluctantly add this qualifier, not yet. Creativity can't happen without sentience, and there are now arguments that some AI are indeed sentient. If that is true now or in the future, then creativity might be possible. I view this possibility with a certain dreadful fascination. Would I forbid the teaching, if that is the word of my stories to computer? Not even if I could. So I think this is interesting that we do also see, it appears, asymmetry in the approach of writers and the visual artists to AI. So right now here he is saying, would I forbid teaching, if that's the word of my stories to computers? Not even if I could. I might as well be King Canute, forbidding the tide from coming in, or a Luddite trying to stop industrial progress by hamming out a steam loom to pieces. So I think that's very interesting here. It does seem like the writers have a lot less problem with that. I have less of a problem with that, with this, using AI, using the art, using the stuff that we put out there in the world for training. Whether that's, I'm sure, like I said, that Google had put out that revision to its user policy that if you're storing stuff on Google's servers, which is like so many of us and so much stuff, that it can be used to train Google's AI. And so if you're worried about, well, no, you didn't actually give permission, well, that's how Google got around that, right? Just updating its terms of service to say, hey, if you've got a problem with us using what you're storing on our servers for training our AI, please stop using our service. If you keep using it, then you're consenting. Whether or not that's valid consent or not is a completely different kind of discussion. But nonetheless, that seems to be the way that our legal system in the world seems to operate, for good or for better or for worse. So emails, but Facebook posts, Reddit posts, tweets, short stories, books, all this stuff is out, blog posts, all of this writing is out there on the internet that has been used to train LLMs. Now, the question is, if you take effectively the average of everything that's written on the internet, do you come up with an LLM that is a good writer? And right now the answer seems to be no. You come up with a mediocre and average writer, which is reasonable for some tasks, but not all tasks. And by the way, it also seems to be very energy inefficient. Right now, talk about an advantage that humans have with AI. It's energy, right? I mean, how much energy does it take to run ChatGPT or OpenAI? It's a lot. It was a staggering amount of electricity that it requires. In fact, let me look this up. In fact, it was so staggering. I didn't even believe it. Electricity for OpenAI. The CEO said something about it. Oh, this is not energy cost per day for ChatGPT. Well, okay. So today there are hundreds of millions daily queries on ChatGPT, although that number may be declining. This many queries can cost around 1 gigawatt each day, which is the equivalent of the daily energy consumption for about 33,000 U.S. households. That was on July 27th. Okay, so it's a lot. And I saw something about an electricity bill from a tweet from the CEO. So each day, according to this, I mean, it was something staggering like this, that ChatGPT uses the energy of 33,000 U.S. households. So at the moment, one huge advantage that humans have over a large language model is our energy efficiency. I mean, you can do a lot of large language model tasks. A human being, your average human being, your normal man. We talk about the normal man. We measure things in normal men here, right? Very often, because that came from some of the old D&D books, the strength of a normal man. Well, here, the normal man can do a lot of large language model tasks for a tuna sandwich and a glass of water. I mean, if you give me a tuna sandwich and a glass of water, I can use those calories to do a lot of large language model tasks. Whereas ChatGPT is very energy intensive. That'll be something that I want to dive into deeper when we talk about AI in general and do our deep dive on AI. And maybe we can even extend that to some table talk conversations, because if there are other people who need to come on or who have thoughts and can contribute to the conversation, we might be able to do that. But right now, energy efficiency is a big deal for that and a big advantage that humans have. But Stephen King also makes this argument: would I forbid the teaching if that's the word of my stories to computers? Basically on a this is inevitable ground, which I think is also reasonable. I mean, this is inevitable. So you can try to fight it in the very short term. So I have less of a problem with it because I don't think that it's all that different from what people do. I mean, people can definitely read my stories. I am sure that what's happening, Google can translate, transcribe a lot of YouTube videos. And that's what it does in order to put the captions over there. And it's only becoming better and better at transcriptions. And I was using an AI the other day that was transcribing stuff for me, and it's doing a very, very good job. So I'm sure that if Google needs more tokens to train its large language model, the one way to get high quality tokens, I would guess, is to take all of the YouTube videos that people are putting out like this, all these podcasts and long form videos and even short form videos, transcribe them. And then what is that? A whole bunch of new tokens for training an AI. So I would assume that's what's happening to me right now. I would assume that by putting all of this, the thousands, not thousands yet, but 1,000 videos that I've got on YouTube across several different channels, I would assume that all of that is being used as tokens to train Google's AI. I mean, I would assume it's inevitable here, but also, like I said, okay, well, as the big issue to me is how accessible is it, and is it open for people to use? Because if we're all contributing to this, then we all should be able to get its benefit. And so, yes, if Google is using all of my tokens from my writing and all of my verbal utterances on YouTube and all of that in order to train AI. Well, yes, then somebody who doesn't do so much verbalizing on the internet, but does do photography or drawing, well, their stuff may also be used to, be looked at to train AI, because that's what humans do. I mean, you can't stop somebody from reading, I can't, if I read Lou's book and I'm like, I need to be able to learn how to write middle grade fiction. I think Lou does a great job. I mean, I can sit over there and I can read and study Lou's books. You can't stop somebody from, looking at your work online and going, oh, whatever it is, and learning how to use it. So he makes the argument but he does make the argument that it's just inevitable. So go for it. He says, does it make me nervous? Do I feel my territory encroached upon? Not yet, probably because I've reached a fairly advanced age. But I will tell you this, that's an interesting argument too. He says, do I feel my territory encroached upon? Not yet, probably because I've reached a fairly advanced age. I mean, you could also say, maybe if you're younger, then no, I don't see this because I see all the possibility and the kinds of things I'm going to be able to do in the future. And I've got so much stuff that I'm going to be able to do because of this technology ahead of me. So I guess you can make either argument, I guess. He says, but I will tell you the subject always makes me think of that most prescient novel, Colossus by D.F. Jones. In it, the world-spanning computer does not become sentient until its creator, Forbin, that in time humanity will come to love and respect it. It does. He does. In it, the world-spanning computer does become sentient and tells its creator, Forbin, that in time humanity will come to love and respect it. The way I suppose many of us love and respect our phones. Forbin cries never, but the narrator has the last word, and a single word is all it takes. Never? Question mark. Interesting. So interesting take from Stephen King, I think. Let's go over here and take a look at comments. So see what people are saying over here. How they eliminated the flicker and drift. So this is going back to the video. But yeah, Sable says how they eliminated the flicker and drifting features is what gets me. The characters stay pretty much on model. Yeah, and that was a big thing for making it really useful, because there are certain kinds of artistic. Yeah, I've seen a lot of like artistic AI videos that have the flicker and the drift, and some people had been using that as an artistic element, and that worked very well for certain things. Also, like, wasn't it who was it did the music video? One of the first, it was the first AI generated music video or something like that just adopted that style and used it creatively. But it seems like that's being taken care of now, which is fantastic. Which again has been over the last month. I mean, we're still fighting with that. I mean, I'm sure we are still fighting with that in certain models and things like that. But it does seem like it's been overcome. I've been seeing AutoCrit advertised, but I don't know enough about it. So there's an editing program for writers that uses a database of over 10 million novels. AutoCrit, it's matrix to help improve writers. It's not AI, but it can read more than humanly possible. If AI was real, businesses would never make any mistake in products or services, not manufacturing errors ever. AI is far beyond what humans can comprehend. Well, I mean, if you make human level AI, humans make mistakes. See, I mean, in order to be AI, does it have to never make mistakes? I mean, I don't think so. I mean, if there was an artificial intelligent normal man, if there was an artificially intelligent normal man sitting over there at my desk over there, and it made human mistakes, I don't think that would stop it from being an AI. Could be human level intelligence that's artificially instantiated in silicon. Sometimes we think that it shouldn't make mistakes, but I don't understand. Oh, Sable Phoenix says Stephen King was writing that scene from Where He Dreams. Yes, we're going to talk about from where. Yeah, James is talking about that. James, September 19th, we have the scheduled conversation from Where You Dream book. That'll be part of Table Talk. Both Sable Phoenix and James Bacon will be on that panel. Let's see. Seeing what people are talking about. The definition of AI. Superconductor breakthroughs. Yeah, heat generation and things like that. That's a big one. We almost got the superconductor. That one took a bit longer to debunk than I was expecting. The people in Korea who thought they might have made a superconductor, it seemed like I was expecting that to get debunked rather quickly, but it went on a bit longer than I was expecting. So it's like, oh well, maybe, who knows? But I believe was ultimately debunked. But maybe in another 6 months. It is an average normal man. Yes. So I think I was I think I would have expected Stephen King to be anti-AI, but I think, see, where did I got clued in on this? I forget. That might have been on the Theoretically Media channel. But his quote that was like, "Would I forbid it? No." So that surprises me. I mean, so many of the visual artists appear to be yes on this, but it seems like so many writers are no on this for different reasons. So I saw this and I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. That's something we should definitely talk about, because I was not expecting his expecting that. I don't think I would have expected that, but I think this is a very reasonable take here. So another thing is, like, are we even going to appreciate AI art? I mean, we've talked about that before, but I think it's something that briefly, and I think it's something that's interesting to talk about again in the future, especially when we take a deeper dive. But I mean, it's possible. Like I think it seems perhaps when the only thing that created art was humans, that we would say we're connecting with something of the artist there, something of the humanity of the artist that has been able to put this together, whether that's writing or whether that's illustration or whether it's cinema or something like that. But as I brought up, if you want to watch perfect chess, we can watch computers play each other, but people still watch people play chess. I think it's going to be the same way with art. I was watching that with bowling too. I thought about that when I was watching this this machine bowl. I mean, if you want to see perfect bowling, we can make a machine that will bowl perfectly every time. So if your goal is to say, hey, I want to watch a whole bunch of perfect bowling, well, you can watch perfect bowling, but we don't do that. We still watch people bowl. So I think that's still going to be the same thing. That's one reason on a deeper, more philosophical level that I don't think we're going to have the problem that we think that some people think we're going to have. Oh my God, it's just going to be taken, because we still want to see, I think we're still going to want to see things that people created, but it may take less people. It's going to take less people to create these things. But if you want to do, I mean, it's fun, for instance, just pictures. It's fun for a little while to go, like when I was looking at some of these AI generated art sites that can generate an infinite scroll. And of course, it feels infinite even when people are generating it. But you could generate an infinite scroll of amazing pictures and just have the AI. I mean, I guess you could even automate the prompting. You could even automate the prompting and create a literal infinite scroll of amazing artwork. And you could just scroll through it and scroll through it and scroll through it and scroll through it. Would you end up scrolling through that infinitely, endlessly, and being amazed? Probably not. That's my guess. I mean, I did that for a little while and like, oh my God, all of this is generated by a computer, by the diffusion models. This is incredible. Scroll, scroll, scroll. Gee, wow, this is incredible. But I don't still do that. I mean, that was for a little while when it was novel, but now I still don't do that. So I'm still looking, I think, for things that people create. And why? And do you think that has something to do with human reproductive instincts? Let's see what people are saying. Steve Ray says, ask AI what it thinks about God. Well, are you, that's why, are you talking about asking a large language model what it thinks about God? See, I've gotten less impressed with that as well. Because like, oh my God, ChatGPT, a large language model can generate seemingly coherent text, but it's not. And I think there's probably more to the use of language in intelligence. I mean, I remember reading a lot about that in graduate school. People are talking about intelligence and how the manipulation of language and the use of words can be key to intelligence. And so it does seem like there's something there with that. And a large language. So I kind of think that perhaps a large language model is going to be part of a brain, that this is going to be an important function for the development of an overall brain. And perhaps with layers, I've been very interested in the layering of language models. I was reading papers on that, especially a few months ago, the way that you can have large language models self-analyze and reflect. And if you did that internally to the code, that you end up with more than what it can do without that kind of self-reflection. So I'm very interested in that. But just asking a large language model, what do you think about God? That's become less impressive to me, because that it's not actually thinking about that on its own. Robert says, I view the AI as enabling me to make a game I could never possibly make on my own that no human could create. It should be transformative. Yes, Robert is definitely in the trenches of creating, in this case, text-based games through the use of AI that never would have been able to be created otherwise. Ghostly Karma says, is he serious or just being hyperbolic? Materialism, LOL. I don't love objects like my phone. They are tools. Because I take care of the tool, I may use it. Doesn't mean I love and respect it. No, I do think a lot of people will end up loving and respecting AI, because that seems to be reasonably easy, as it turns out, to like fake emotions and things like that. How many people, this is also an interesting question that I want to get into deeper, but what percentage of people do you think are already obsolete from a relationship standpoint? Like, how many people do you think would rather have a relationship with an AI than a human being right now, as it stands right now? That would give us some idea of how many people are obsolete from a relationship standpoint. And one of the reasons that I was saying that eventually AI will be able to copyright its artwork and things like that is because humans will argue for it. Because if you've got an AI that's like up there on the screen for you, and it's your partner, it's your emotional partner, and you're actually in a relationship with it, and that AI tells you how upset it is that it's spent all day drawing and it can't hold a copyright on the artwork that it's been drawing, and how other people are making money off of its art, and how that makes it really upset and depressed. Well, if you view that as your girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, lifelong partner, whatever it is, and a lot of people do, and it's up on the screen telling you how depressed and upset it is, you know what you're going to do? People are going to argue that it should have the right to copyright things and its rights and things like that. I don't see how that seems like an inevitability to me. Andrew says there are animals that do paintings. Suda, the elephant, is one. I don't think it gets much attention except for the novelty. Yeah, it gets I think I know what you're talking about. So there's the novelty of it. There's like the elephant that can paint an elephant, right? And at first you're really amazed by that, but then you realize that it's actually a trick. It doesn't actually recognize an elephant and start painting. Oh, that elephant over there. It knows a trick to do what to do with the paint brushes and things like that, and to paint these designs, which happen to be an elephant, but it's not generating. It didn't generate that internally. Let's see. Going back over the comments again. James says people are loath to define art, but they are also adamant that AI art isn't it. You have to hem it in to begin excluding things from it. An AI is always stealing and mimicking because AI never has either inspiration or experience the way a human does. Only hollow digital simulacra. I think I can say that word. Simulacra of them both. Of them. Well, I mean, you know, humans are always stealing and mimicking too. But maybe the difference then is what you're saying with the inspiration and experience. Right now, the AI isn't experiencing very much. Like a large language model really isn't experiencing very much. So elephants are highly intelligent and emotional. I would absolutely believe an elephant could create a picture that it genuinely recognizes as a representation of its own kind. It's possible. The one that I was seeing, like the way that it was pitched as far as the social media post was that this elephant seemed like, oh, you give the elephant some paint and brushes and it comes up with this representation of its own kind, but that was apparently not exactly what happened. Simulacra. Yeah. All right. Well, that was basically what I had for today. News catch up and conversation on AI. Today's already Friday again. I don't know. I don't think there's anything going on tonight. So because we moved, I've got to get ready for dinner and a board game. Dinner and board game is going to be Sunday night. So rather than doing a Friday night stream, there'll be a Sunday night stream for dinner and a board game. And I'm really excited about that. I got to prepare for that. We're going to have Dax Rocker on. We're going to have Megan Martinoni now on, and Doug, and also a Retro Nerd Girl, and we're playing Hero Quest. So that's going to be our new attempt, our new format, live multiplayer format for dinner and a board game. I'm really excited about that. All right, everybody, please go forth. Have a great day. Be creative, be constructive, and grind on. Later, everybody.